Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Libra April 2023 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. So, hi, everyone, and welcome. This reading is going to be taking a look at the energy for the month ahead. So we're going to be looking first at what you're bringing to the month. Then we're going to be looking at what's going on around you environmentally. And then we're going to be looking at a block or a challenge that Spirit is going to be advising you as to how to overcome that so that you can really lean into the opportunity that wants to come in for you. So let's jump right in. So Libra, you have the Seven of Pentacles as your internal energy. Oh, with the Seven of Cups in your external energy. Interesting. Okay. Page of Cups, Two of Wands, and the Star for your past to present energy. So I'll get a little deeper into this. So Seven of Pentacles, what you're bringing to the month of April. This is a time of review. The sevens in the tarot speak to a momentary pause where we get a chance to look at something in our life and really ask ourselves that question, is it worth it for me to fill in the blank? So with the Seven of Pentacles, this is saying, is it worth it for me to continue to invest my time, energy, and whatever else you've been investing in something that you can touch in a physical sense? That's what the pentacles speak to. So this would be like looking at, the amount of money that you are bringing in from where you work after you've been working, maybe you've been putting in a lot of time and effort and you're looking at it going, is this really enough? This could be where maybe you've been putting time and energy into a relationship and you're like, is this really kind of bringing to fruition what I was hoping? This could be where you're looking at, you've been putting time and energy into building a business or time and energy into building a home. And you're really kind of stepping back and saying, is this what I was hoping for? And if it is, well, then great. I'm going to continue to invest in it. If it's not, can I make an adjustment? Because in your external environment, we have the Seven of Cups, and this can be a card of opportunity. This can be a card where maybe you're being offered something that is causing you to reflect on something you have right now in the physical. This could be where all of a sudden something's changed. It could be that maybe you graduated from college or you have a new degree or skill set that you've been working towards. And suddenly you're like, actually, this is opening up so many other avenues for myself. And it's causing you maybe to, again, reevaluate. It is where I am now exactly what I want? And if it's not, then what do I need to change here? This individual looks like he's looking at a bush that he's been growing for some time. And it looks like he's looking at it going, okay, do I continue to feed this? Do I continue to, weed it and make sure it's got all the sunlight and everything? Or is there something else that I might need now? Maybe it's not producing as much fruit as he was hoping. And so he's going to have to go back to the table and say, I might have to go and invest in a better fertilizer, or I might have to water it more times during the day, something along those lines. But I do get the feeling that for many of you, there is something going on externally to you that is kind of showing you that there's more out there, that there might be something that, and it could come by way of an individual, because we have the Page of Cups here. So we have the Star, and this is moving from kind of the recent past up to the present day. So the Star is when we have gone through a difficult period, because before the Star comes out, we have the Tower. And the Tower comes into our life when we have long been avoiding a change that needed to occur. So the Tower comes in to liberate us from kind of stagnancy, from clinging to what is. But then we get to see that Star, that realization of, oh my gosh, I needed to have that dramatic thing happen to me because I didn't realize that I was sleepwalking through my life. Or I didn't realize that I had lost touch with that dream, that part of myself, that something that now is calling to me, is pulling me forward. And there was a decision that was made, or that is currently in the process of being made. Because the Two of Wands speaks to, where do I go from here? Now that I've seen my Star, what course do I need to chart now to start to move in that direction, to start to use that Star as my guiding light, as my North Star? So there was a decision, or there is a decision as to a change in where you've been choosing to take action. This could be where you are choosing or have chosen to make a job move, have chosen to, you name it. You could, whatever is a deviation from where you are currently. And with the Page of Cups, this could actually be an individual who's coming in to give you this offer. This could be somebody who's coming in almost kind of from this innocent place of, I know this isn't maybe as much as I could offer, but it's a little something. Would it be something that would be interesting to you? The Page of Cups is someone who is very innocent, someone who, I mean, this could even be an apology. For some of you, this could be where you're like having to tell somebody, you know, I'm so sorry, but I have to go out and follow my dream. A lot has changed, and I need to go out there now and share. I need to look further, because you can see he has this cup and there's like a little fishy in this cup. It's almost like he's looking into it going, I need to share this fishy with others. I need to see what's out there in the world that might support this part of myself, this cup. The Page of Cups sometimes can also represent to me the inner child. It's when we get back in touch with that innocent part of ourself on an emotional plane, and we're like, this is the part I want to share with me. I just want to get back to that innocent version of myself where I get to go out into the world and discover where that fits in out here. And I think that this kind of process has really, really pushed you to say, you know, what maybe isn't working, what kind of gives you this momentary pause, this doubt of like, if I could change something in my life, what would I rather see grow? Or what do I want to see more grow? Versus less of something. And again, this could be on the heels of someone offering you something, maybe even, or it could be you offering an apology to someone and stating, I have to make a change towards putting myself kind of front and center. Okay, so but I do kind of feel there's like a return to innocence, Gemini. Maybe some of you are dealing with a Gemini. That's very interesting. Libra. Let's get back into your energy here. And maybe, who knows, if you are dealing with a Gemini, maybe there is a return to innocence that's coming through your interaction with that person. That could be the page coming in. The Gemini is an energy of the higher mind. It's an energy that's also very changeable. But if you do have a Gemini in your life, it could be coming through from that place, or that individual, again, is helping you through maybe the Tower and moving forward. Okay, I'm just going to take this because that came out right on top of that. Four of Wands. Yeah, many of you are reevaluating a foundation. This could be a marital foundation. This could be a foundation as in a business that you created. This could be a foundation, in a community. Maybe you've, spent a while really getting yourself to a certain level of, where you are a part of a community or you are part of a workplace. But there's a reevaluation of that happening. The Three of Cups and the Six of Wands. The Four of Wands can also speak to celebrating how far you've come. It's where we've built a foundation and we really get to honor that and share that with others. And often when the Tower comes down, I'm curious to see what's under the star. A Hierophant. Yeah, for some of you, Ace of Cups and the Hierophant under the star. There may have been something here where there was either like a refresh in love, and Hierophant can also speak to marriage as well. So maybe for some of you there was a tower around a marriage or a tower around a commitment that you made to another individual. I'm trying to think of how to explain that. You could have committed to becoming a parent. And that commitment is, to you continuing to dedicate your time and energy towards an individual. Maybe you've discovered that that's your star. It could be a commitment to another individual, like a romantic individual in your life. Again, a marriage. There could be a commitment to a job, to building your own business, something along those lines. And in making that commitment, you are realizing your star. And maybe that commitment is what brought the tower down. Maybe you had to get yourself to that point to say, I'm going to commit to this. I'm choosing this as my direction. And I'm so sorry to anybody who can't see that, who isn't going to allow me to do this, to commit to this. But I'm going to also just wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm going to go out there and share from this place as well. And so we have the Four of Wands followed by the Three of Cups and the Six of Wands. So again, the Four of Wands is your main point of challenge. And this may be where you really have to stop and allow yourself to really celebrate how far you've come, to celebrate the foundation you have already created, a firm foundation. And to really say, look what I have. Yeah, I might be really evaluating that something needs to change, or maybe I want to grow more of this or more of that. But I've committed to something, and I've made a decision in which way I want to go towards following my star. And I'm going to, instead of just trying to, sit here and look at because the person with the Seven of Pentacles could also be not aware of this, not aware of what they've built, not aware of really being able to say, like, look how far I've come, look at this level. I could go through all of that. I could go through the tower collapsing, but I still have this stable foundation. I still have my family. I still have this wonderful partnership. I still have this, could even be a physical, you've created a certain level of wealth that even going through something crazy didn't stop that from disappearing. But it could also be where some of you are reevaluating that foundation. That is it really what you want? Is it really something that you feel proud of when you say, this is what I've built. This is my marriage. This is my business. Whatever that might be. And the Three of Cups coming in after that. Three of Cups is celebrating with others. It's our community. It's being able to share ourselves vulnerably, and others get to do the same. For very few of you, because the Three of Cups can sometimes, now I don't see the Three of Cups, I don't see the Three of Swords, but if the Three of Swords does come in, this could be a potential third-party problem where there's other people in the mix. Now, it doesn't always have to mean that it's cheating in a romantic sense. It could mean that there's just another person in your experience that is kind of getting in the middle of you connecting intimately with others, or you connecting in the celebratory energy with others. And that may be also causing you to take a look at a foundation here. And it may be causing you to not feel so great about it, honestly. It might be that maybe that's what's having you second guess this, to say, is this foundation really as strong and stable as I thought? This can be sometimes where, like, a child, I might go through a difficult period with a child, and that might really stress the marital relationship. Or this could be where work could even get in the way, of a relationship with another, or vice versa. Your personal relationship is getting in the way of your work relationships. But there's something in here where there might have been like almost this third party energy coming in to make you doubt the stability of this foundation. And with the Six of Wands, this is a card of success. It's a card of saying, look, this is what Spirit's asking you to embrace, to kind of get through, I think, this period of, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if I want to invest here. I don't know if I want to continue to invest in this foundation. For some of you could even be doubting the choice you made. And I think you really need to realize it was made based on the star. It was made on a commitment to yourself, to what really connected you to your cup. And you have to honor that. And the Six of Wands is saying that's recognition. This is people seeing you from the outside saying, job well done. You're following your passion. You're following your heart. You've committed to the dream. And this is kind of like saying, keep going, from the 4 to the 6. Now, in between is the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands is a card of chaos. It can be a card of also healthy competition, but it can't be one where we are out there kind of battling against the world. And the Six of Wands is a hard-earned victory. So really give yourself that. There's a lot of give yourself the praise for having maybe gone through this difficult energy where there needed to be a true reevaluation and potentially looking at where there was something coming in that might have been a disruptive energy. Now, the Three of Cups can also be, again, if this is, where you're kind of doubting this, like this would be like looking at, do my friend group that I choose to surround myself really support me? Does my family support me? Does, that kind of thing, to really look at that and go, is this the problem that's been allowing you, or is this actually something that's helping you? Do you have a community that you can fall back on and that they're seeing you as this successful, you've come through it, you chose your path, you followed it. Now, on the other side of this is the Queen of Wands, beautiful energy. It's the energy of Aries. She's fiery, she's passionate, she works her magic. She is attractive and magnetic, meaning she attracts others to her through simply her choosing to create for herself what she wants. She takes action from passion. And I think for many of you, you may have lost this, and this is the opportunity here to regain that fire, that passion. For some of you, there is an opportunity here, I think, to really move into committing to a new relationship. There might be something here coming through with this, that there might be an individual who's seeing what you've built, and that might be allowing you to attract someone in. Maybe while you're doing all of this internal review, there's someone coming in out here that's coming in saying, hey, do you want to go on a date? Hey, do you want to come over here and, test out this new job? This could even be somebody who's like, again, kind of coming back in, you've decided to commit to a path, to a purpose, and they're like, I really am interested in that too. Like, can I join you on that? Like, I've seen how successful you've been so far, and I would love to do that with you. And that's really where it's going to kind of elevate you into this level of power, because then we also have the Lovers at the end with the Queen of Swords. And I think for many of you, there might be some kind of negative internal talk around you in intimate relationships. You can see in the Queen of Swords, there's the exact depiction of this picture, the lovers in the window behind her. And she's kind of holding the sword here in this image in front of her heart, almost like, I know the truth of what wounded me before, and I'm going to be the gatekeeper from not allowing this love to come in again. And it's almost like, and I do feel like I've seen this a lot, it might have even been in your reading, Libra, last month, where there's this Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords, and they're almost like having to battle each other, where there's one part of you that's mentally trying to rationalize, yeah, but the last time I did this, I got hurt. Yeah, but the last time I built this foundation, I built a tower on top of it, and it collapsed around me. There's that kind of thing happening here. And the Queen of Wands is going to just come into the, I always feel like the Queen of Wands is like Bette Davis, for those of you who love old movies as much as I do, that she's going to come onto the scene and be like, like, shut up, Queen of Swords. Let's just get out there and do. Let's put on our makeup. Let's put on our best dress. Let's go out to the bar and let's just see who we can attract. And it's almost like there's a little bit of a devil may care energy here that I'm feeling specifically with this placement. And sometimes we have to get into that energy. Sometimes we have to get out there and be like, this is me. This is who I am. Take me or leave me. And it's time to quiet the mind. Yeah, you did go through something that was very difficult, and it may have been around a third-party situation. Again, it could have been that, yes, there was cheating involved. Yes, there was a meddling parent figure that was getting in between you and your relationship, you and your romantic partner. Yes, you tried to build something before and it collapsed. But this is saying you came through it successfully. And you followed your star, you committed to it, and you did so with an innocence on some level. There's an innocent part of you that is still intact. And it's asking you to really embrace that. And I'm getting the feeling that, yeah, you might have had to apologize in the past for this. No more apologizing. No more apologizing, Libra. It's time for you to go towards what you really want. It's time for you to celebrate what you created for yourself. And it's time for you to go out into the world with this innocent part of yourself to really see now what the Queen of Wands with an innocent heart can attract to her. Okay, so now I'm going to pull clarifier cards here. For those of you looking for a romantic partnership or deepening a romantic partnership, I can definitely say that I feel like that's coming in. Yeah, so I'm going to pull clarifier cards now for all the cards out on the table. So we have 8 of Cups. Yeah, for some of you, you had to walk away from a previous foundation that you built. 8 of Cups is having to walk away from something you spent a lot of time emotionally investing in. Yeah, and there's a lot of worry around that 9 of Swords. And that might be, if this is happening currently for you, you might be actually sitting here having to make this decision this month of, I have to walk away from this because it's not supporting what I want to grow. It's not supporting the queen I know I am, the fiery, passionate individual. It could also be that if this was in the past, that, yeah, there's a lot of anxiety about what you walked away from. And it's hard now without that pain of the past coloring what you're building now currently. So let's see about the 3 of Cups. Yeah, 3 of Cups, 2 of Swords. Yeah, you're in a place of indecision, not being able to see the truth of the situation there. And if this is a third-party situation, this could be for some of you where you're trying to decide, could possibly be the case. Again, this could also be where there's just another person coming into the mix. You're trying to see maybe the truth of the people you've surrounded yourself with, the truth of the community, the truth of, you know, the meddling parent or the boss or, you know, whatever that is. And with Temperance, Strength, and the 2 of Wands, this is saying it's time to have the strength to make the decision. There's the 2 of Wands again. It's time to have that strength to really either walk away. Temperance speaks to divine timing. It speaks to growth and freedom through change. It also speaks to bringing your emotions together in alignment with how you want to choose to take action. And so there's something here about kind of understanding, like, you know what you feel. And it's time now to let your actions speak from that, or let your actions lead from that place. And yeah, it's going to take strength. If this means you have to walk away from someone or something, or if it means that you have to, again, you know, just be turning your back on a family member, turning your back on a family situation, turning your back on, this could be a workplace as well. Maybe you've been sitting here going, you know, I don't feel like I'm being supported at work anymore. Or I feel like it's gotten too much in between me and something else I love, something else that I committed to. There's something here around committing to the star. And that star is going to be unique to each one of you. But when you went through that tower moment, when everything kind of fell apart, there was one thing that you realized you really wanted to work out of that. And that's what caused you to chart a new path, to feel that you had to do something different from that point. And it's really all going back to then. Now, with the 6 of Wands, we have the 3 of Cups and the 4 of Wands, which is interesting because it's stating here, it's showing you that there actually is a stable foundation for you with the community. The 6 of Wands is stating that you might have recovered from this time period, that you actually were successful in overcoming this, and the foundation is still intact. That maybe you did have to go through a difficult time where someone was cheating or someone was getting in between, but the foundation was strong enough to hold firm. And it might also be that, you know, that you're realizing in what you went through that you do have a strong foundation with others who support you, with others that can celebrate with you, or just that you were the one victorious, that you were the one to come out of this, Three of Cups, or if it was cheating or someone getting in the middle of you, that, or in between you and another, even again, a work environment coming in, that your foundation on some level was strong enough to withstand that. Or is. So keep that in mind. For those of you who are worried about where you might have to walk away from something towards something else, it's stating that whatever you've built, you can build again and build it better, and build it possibly better with other people. So keep that in mind. What do you want to be seen for being successful as achieving, as building? That can also be this. What do you want to be celebrated for, Libra? What if others were looking in on you and saw what you had created for yourself, and you got to go out with other people and celebrate? What would you be cheersing to? That's going to be integral for you to really understand what that is this month. Okay, wow, we have the Sun and the King of Swords. Goodness gracious. That speaks to illumination of the self. And with the King of Swords coming in, that is hard and fast, undeniable truth of the situation. And I think for many of you, this might be kind of what this is, that realization of, if I shine from this place, I'm seeing myself, I'm liberating myself, but I also understand the truth of the situation. I understand what I had to go through and why to become this. I understand that I had to honor myself. And the King of Swords, it could even be an Aquarius in your life. There could be an illumination of an Aquarius in your life. And that may be that Aquarius, or someone who harnesses the energy of the Aquarian, someone who is really in the imaginative world, really connected to the higher mind. They're kind of beyond. They're connected to like what I like to call the ether. But there could be someone here who is shedding light for yourself about this part of you. There could be an Aquarius, or again, an individual like that who's coming in and saying, like, let's turn on the light, Libra. Look at how powerful you are. Look at how amazing you are. This is the truth of the situation. These are the facts. Look at how far you've come. Look at what you've done. Look at what you are working towards. Now just go out there and do it. Be it. Live it. So this is nice. This could truly be someone in your life, like literally holding like a spotlight to you. And it was like, shine, shine, Libra, shine. I love that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and see for the final card here, the Lovers with the Queen of Swords. Yep, and there's the Tower. I knew it. I knew it. Yep. You have been working towards something so diligently before at some point, or up until this point, and the Tower came in and said, nope, so sorry, kicking you back a few notches. But the Tower comes in again, and I love the depiction of it in this deck. It's taking away from what was originally a balanced foundation, and we had built something that was unsustainable on top. Whether it was a relationship that wasn't supportive towards us, whether it was, what do you call it? A career path that was going to burn us out. It's almost like we had to go back to the basics, Libra, as to what you love, why you want to be in love. And with the Queen of Swords coming in, it's time now to really honor the truth of the situation and realize, like, yeah, things do happen. We do lose. We do have to go through breakups. We do have to leave career paths behind. We do have to downsize, you name it. But it's all for the forward progression, so that we don't get stagnant, so that we also don't get stuck in something that is truly holding us back from following our star, from following that part of our experience we deeply want to commit to, that's ultimately going to bring in happiness, joy, and love for ourselves. Now at the bottom of the deck, we have the Chariot, movement, getting back in the driver's seat and moving towards what you ultimately want to achieve for yourself. It's also the Chariot, there's that sense of driving your chariot towards what will ultimately feel like home for you. And that's a beautiful energy to have here at the end. So really keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple additional cards here. We have 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron, with the number 40, breaking down to the number 4 in numerology, which is the number of firm foundations. It's also the number of hard work. But the 6th chakra is our third eye. That is, I get this feeling when this card comes in that it's almost like Spirit is trying to ask you, can you see from our perspective? Can you see that what you had to go through here was in your best interest, was to get you back to building a better foundation for what you truly want to bring in for yourself? Because what you were building towards before was not in alignment with that. Can you trust us? Can you see from our perspective or from the divine's perspective? Let's go ahead here. I'm going to just pull a couple additional clarifiers, see what wants to come in. What does Libra need to know about the 6th chakra? There's the Tower again. Okay, well, yeah, that's what that card speaks to. That card is speaking to, can you see that the Tower was actually for your benefit? And I know it's hard. If you're going through this right now, it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to see this. If you're coming out of it and you're on the other side, it might be a lot easier to look back and say, no, I see how I was on the wrong path before, or I see how the foundation I had would not have supported what I ultimately want to bring in for myself. But I do know from personal experience that when you're going through it at the time, wow, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. It's very disempowering. But when you come out the other side, it's awe-inspiring. Now, we have surrender frustration. It says frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach the situation more calmly. And I love that because sometimes when we get into this Aries energy too, we can get super fiery, and that can also lead to us getting really frustrated because things aren't happening as fast as we want them to. And this is saying it's time to surrender, or frustration just in general about having to leave something behind, having to go through all of this. It's more about realizing that if you can, that this is all within your higher good. Again, it's Spirit taking away things that were not in alignment with your highest self or with ultimately what you want to bring in for yourself. I love it. The Sun and the Wheel of Fortune. Yep. The realization that the time had to... So the Wheel of Fortune speaks to, it can speak to an opportunity. It can speak to the time is now. It can actually speak to, kind of lucky forward momentum. It can also speak to the realization that the wheel is always turning. At some point in our lives, we will be on top of the wheel and everything will be absolutely wonderful. And then at other times we'll be on the bottom of the wheel, which is generally when a tower situation happens. And it's going to continue to be that way. We're not always up 100% of the time, and we're not always down 100% of the time. We're usually right in between. And the Sun, the illumination coming in, is that realization that at some point we are going to be on the bottom of that wheel and we have to go through that kind of difficult time, but then it comes around again and we get to do it again. We get a second chance. We get an opportunity. Luck is now on our side. So instead of getting frustrated about when the timing is coming and why hasn't it happened, or I want this, or this was taken away, it's the saying, all things in their time. And the illumination is, I feel for many of you, this is the time. This is when you get to realize that relationship that fell apart before, you get to realize the beauty of it now. Or this is the realization of that work endeavor you tried, the business you wanted to build, or the career path that you were leveling up on, and you had to tear everything down previously. And this could be years and years ago. And now you're going to finally reap the benefits of that. And you're going to see why that all had to collapse. You're going to see why you had to go through that period, because the time is now to do it again. The time is now. This is the right time. These are the right opportunities. These are the right people to surround yourself with that are going to bring in your star. And your innocence and coming through with an innocent heart through all of this, and not giving in to the Queen of Swords, who is jaded, who is self-protecting, who is maybe going to speak about how terrible all people in love are, or how all people who build businesses, are just doomed to fail. Instead, she's going to speak from her innocent heart, and she's going to act from a place of passion. All right, I'm going to pull a final card here, Libra, and I will just read the excerpt from the book that comes with the deck as a final message for you guys. What does, my deck upside, looks like one of those cards is upside down in there. I don't like to put reversals in my decks, but every once in a while one pops in there. Let's see here. What does Libra need to know? What does Libra need to know about April as a final message? Chaos and conflict, number 33. Now, number 33, sometimes it could be considered a master number. It depends on what numerology aspect you're following. But the 33 does speak to the spiritual builder, the spiritual healer. It's also a double 3, which I love because that's the energy of creativity. It's the energy of creating life with the innocence of a child. But it also breaks down to the number 6, which is the energy of love, of building with others with a communal spiritual goal. I also really feel personally that it speaks to our power to create in the physical when we do so from a place of love. Now, chaos and conflict. When you see this image here, it is a zebra that has long since, he was trying to cover himself up and make him look like a giraffe. And suddenly, that exterior that was covering him up, that he was trying to get away with, kind of maybe hiding, in the scenes. Like, I'm trying to just not be seen, trying to go under the radar here. It's like that Queen of Wands is coming out. And your stripes are being seen by others. You are being seen by others. And yes, that can create chaos and conflict, because suddenly you're realizing your own uniqueness. You're realizing that you are special. You're realizing that maybe you never fit in here to begin with. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it can be scary and it can feel chaotic. But I do get the feeling here that there's a spiritual healing going on with the 33. Okay, let's see here. 33, chaos and conflict, essential meanings, disarray, being at cross purposes with another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. The oracle's message, opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere, but consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it. Scattered to the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, its essence is also internal, projected outward and causing disarray. You may find yourself at cross purposes with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control. Yet every storm passes and chaos leads to a reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to take shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather than to be understood. And I like that because when the Tower comes in, yeah, that's chaotic. But that's what you're being asked here to do, is understand why the Tower is coming in. Understanding too, I think, why you're seeing yourself maybe for the first time as who you really are, and why now that needs to be seen. It needs to come out as the Queen of Wands. And yeah, you may be at a cross purpose here. I get that feeling that you might have to apologize to somebody, that you say, I have to commit to this, and I have to walk away from something, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's you name it. But the thing is, you're choosing to take action from a place of deep commitment to yourself, to your star. And that brings out your individuality, because each one of us has our own star. And when we follow that star with faith, that is when we get to see ourselves as the unique individual we are. So really, really keep that in mind. And I would love, as a mantra, just to really sit there and what do you, as mantra to keep in mind for yourself throughout the month. Where do you want to be celebrated? What foundation do you want to build that can be celebrated by others? And maybe where do you already have that? And how can you really lean into that support and continuing now to build on the Four of Wands? It's positive energy, Libra. It's energy of liberation. And you've long, I think, been coming to this point. And I think for many of you, either looking back again and you're realizing why something had to happen and how now you are liberated, or you are going through this period. And I can tell you from personal experience, you will look back at this time and say, thank goodness. And I know it might be hard to see it now, but you will you will see it and go, wow. And you look back with wonder and awe at how great things have become and how you couldn't see it now. Okay, I will leave it there, Libra. I hope you all have a wonderful, liberating month of April. Lean into those friend groups, feel your fire, let yourself be seen for who you are. And I look forward to reading for you next month in the next Illumination reading. I also do post weekly mini readings that are just kind of meant to look at the energies for the week. And if you'd like to see those as they come out, you can subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, again, I will see you all next month. Bye, Libra.